I see girls in tears, and that's because of your sign.
You don't know who Brett Kavanaugh is. This man doesn't know who Brett Kavanaugh is. And who the hell let you back on this campus?
Time for the latest installment of Change My Mind, unedited conversations on controversial topics with an opportunity to rationalize one's own position. As always, comment which topics you'd most like to see in the future below. Today's topic, you've all heard of, rape culture.
And rape culture is not okay.
Rape culture on college campuses.
An example of rape culture.
March to end rape culture.
Rape culture on all college campuses.
Yeah, that rape culture, as it's taught in academia and described in the media. Only, it's not real. Now, trigger warning, for those of you particularly frustrated by entirely anecdotal evidence in the face of empirical data, this episode may prove uniquely difficult to watch.
Literally, I'm shaking because you know how triggering this is?
Probably like 1 in 15 women.
Okay, where do you get that from?
That's just from people that I know. I know a lot of people on this campus.
I'm honestly not talking about empirical data at all, and I don't think we should look at it as empirical data.
But what I'm saying is I see people walking around, I see girls in tears.
It's all anecdotal, but I know people on campus that have been raped and have chosen not to report it.
And I sit here and told you how empirical data is bullshit.
It's not possible because I personally know more than 10 people.
Anyway, you get it. So this time, before I even got started, people were ready for a discussion.
Hey everyone, this idiot ass is back on campus.
Or that.
How are you?
My name is Macy and I've been raped.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so are you really going to sit on my campus and tell me that rape culture is a myth today?
Yes.
I don't feel like I need to change your mind because...
Why?
Have you ever been raped?
I've not been raped.
Well, then I mean, can I change your mind by saying I've been raped and a good majority of my friends have been raped, so...
No, that wouldn't be a convincing argument. I'm very sorry. No. No, I think
Do you think rape culture is a myth?
yes.
Why? Tell me why.
Well, would you like to sit down?
I don't generally consider myself an idiot asshole, but just for her sake, I'll play one on TV. This time I allowed her to assume that I know nothing so that she could teach me.
Thank you. We got a bunch of cameras outside. What's your name?
Macy?
Macy. Nice to meet you, Macy.
Nice to meet you.
So you just yelled this idiot is on campus. And
did.
So do you first? I want to. You're obviously aware of what we've done here. What this kind
I'm
of is,
aware.
What changed my mind is. Yeah, rape culture. I guess we need to define. How do you define rape culture first?
I define rape culture as an area, a general area where people think that they can take advantage of other people due to certain situations, which sometimes include like places like college campuses where there's a big congregate of people drinking and they're not sure where the level of consent is.
Okay, so would it be fair to characterize rape culture as something, certainly as it's been, I guess, sort of described in academic circles, the idea, a societal or a patriarchal society where rape is either encouraged or tolerated?
Like what? It doesn't have to be a male that rapes a female. Like it
Sure.
can be either way, but...
I didn't say that.
Okay, well, what's your question?
Well, that's the idea of rape culture, the idea that rape is, and you sort of echoed that, I want to make sure we both agree to start with, that it's a society or a culture at large where rape is either promoted, encouraged, or tolerated.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't agree.
Can you tell me why?
Statistically, it doesn't bear out. We charge rapists, we put them in jail. Rape is a very rare crime, and I don't believe that we live in a culture that supports or condones rape or tolerates it.
But what about the fact that so many rapists don't go to jail? I know plenty of people. I've reported my rapist. He didn't go to jail. Many of my friends have reported their rapists. They didn't go to jail. Like, I actually literally don't know of people my age, anybody who's gone to jail, who has been apprehended. There are boys on this campus. I've been sexually assaulted by a boy on this campus who walks around and goes to class every single day. So how is that
really clear? First off,
apprehension?
Well, there's anecdotal, right, and then there's the empirical data.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get away from me speaking for all men or people who are sort of right-leaning, and you speaking for all women or sort of advocates of a more progressive worldview. I might need to adjust your phone. I think someone's calling and it slipped down there. I want to make sure you get a good shot.
Thank you.
You went from rape, it's interesting to me, to sexual assault.
Yes.
First off, I think, again, it's very important that we define the terms. There's a delineation between the two.
Uh-huh.
Would we agree?
Yeah, but would you say that like sexual assault isn't like a part of rape?
no, sexual assault is a part of rape, but someone can commit some kind of sexual assault or sexual harassment and it not be rape. So I'm probably pretty sure you don't want to get into your personal experience on camera. If you do, we can. But again, it goes back to the question, this idea that we support or we tolerate or we encourage rape, or that it's occurring in numbers that are out of the ordinary. Proportionally to other crimes, rapists are convicted at about the same rate as armed robbers, for example. Do we have an armed robbery culture? Rape is a horrible, terrible, heinous crime. For you to think that
and I'm not saying that like rape culture, like I'm honestly not talking about empirical data at all, and I don't think we should look at it as empirical data because first of all, like I don't know if you know how like uniform crime reports work, but that's like certain things that police don't report. So sometimes those numbers are skewed, first of all, and
Sorry, what do you mean uniform crimes?
Do you know like uniform crime reports and how that works?
You mean several crimes going into one report?
No, it's like where the police report to the FBI specific crimes that occur, but they are like sometimes they don't report everything, and that's how like that's the problem. No, sometimes they just don't because sometimes it looks better on their area, and so statistics can't always tell you exactly what happens. And then there's other forms of like methods. Like the NCVS, they interview victims like one-on-one, or there's like self-reporting, and that shows that we're missing a lot of data that the police just haven't reported to the FBI. So I don't think you can base all of this on empirical data when...
Well, I think we can, but what would you base it on? Because you referred to me as an idiot that rape culture is a myth. Yeah, I'm basing it on data.
I saw you in your male privilege too, so
you think I'm an idiot on that one as well?
Yeah, I do. I do. And like my brother and I were actually just talking about you yesterday. Like, yeah you're really something. I don't know how you ended up back on this campus because you turned into a meme. Do you know that you're a meme?
Yeah.
On Twitter? Yeah. So I don't know how you have the audacity to like come back on our campus and say that rape culture is a myth, because that's personally offensive to a lot of people I know, actually. And so especially like the audacity to come here and
the audacity
really
to come here and speak the truth. I have the audacity
and speak the truth.
Yeah.
What the is that?
Yeah.
You know what? How about somebody rapes you and then you come and tell me that rape culture is a myth?
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
How does that have nothing to do with what we're talking about? And I sit here and told you how empirical data is bullshit because of UCR crime reports.
I don't agree.
You didn't even know what a UCR crime report is. Do you even know what NCVS stands for? You tell me that.
Okay, so let's go through statistics.
Okay.
How often do you believe rape occurs? Because again, a rape culture, we both agree.
See, I cannot tell you the exact number because as I've repeated to you multiple times that like UCR crime reports are simply not accurate. And there are other like methods, and it is proven that those are not accurate. We do not have all of those numbers.
We don't have all of those numbers, but we have quite a bit. We have from the FBI, we have from the DOJ.
Yeah, but do you know where the FBI gets those? Is those UCR reports that you didn't know existed. Let the record show he didn't know what a UCR crime report is. I learned that in my intro to criminal justice class.
So how often do you think rape occurs?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay. For you to say that it's idiotic to not believe that there's a rape culture, again, when we both agree
You don't think there's rape culture. You just don't believe that.
I think there's an interrupting culture right now.
An interrupting culture? Can you define that for me?
You keep interrupting me.
I said, can you define that for me?
Yeah, you keep interrupting me.
Okay, go off.
Yeah, so let me finish here. So for me to be so idiotic as to not believe in rape culture, which we both agreed is the idea that rape is perpetuated, encouraged, or tolerated in a society, you would need to present some kind of data, anything. I know you think empirical data is bullshit, that's fine. Some kind of evidence to support your premise that rape is tolerated or encouraged in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, it is tolerated. I mean, have you seen, like, Brett Kavanaugh? Are you familiar with that situation right now?
Not at all. Enlighten me.
You don't know who Brett Kavanaugh is. This man doesn't know who Brett Kavanaugh is. No, and he's going to sit here and tell me that rape culture is a myth. He is currently, Donald Trump is trying to appoint him to the Supreme Court. And the fact that you don't know that shows me that you don't actually really know what's going on in society, because that is a really big deal, and that is the Supreme Court is the highest level.
Let's assume that I don't know who he is. So explain it to me. Why is that important in proving the idea of rape culture?
So he is currently, he is under fire for some sexual assault allegations, and that he, like, supposedly, we're not 100% sure, but he allegedly raped women when he was younger, and he, in front of a trial, was saying that, like, They found his
This happened in
yearbook.
front of a trial.
This is not a trial,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
in front of not Supreme Court justices. It's in front of senators,
Okay.
important people. And as they ask him these questions, they pull out his yearbook and they find terms like devil's triangle, which if you don't know what that means, that's
No idea.
2 males and a female, and that's 2 males ganging up on a female. It is
Sounds
like
terrible.
it refers to rape. And so he's out here, and that's who they're trying to appoint.
And this man is Brett Kavanaugh?
Brett Kavanaugh, sir. And so the fact that like somebody this important that is going to be on the Supreme Court, which I'm at this point I'm unsure of like what you know about the government, but
Yeah.
that is the highest position that you can acquire. And so
A Supreme Court justice.
a Supreme Court justice.
It's high up there.
It's high up there,
Oh, no, I
buddy.
appreciate it, yeah.
So the fact that a rapist is probably going to
A
still
rapist?
be appointed.
Is he a rapist? Because you said
He's
you want
under
percentage-
FBI investigation, but it's a biased one because it is from the Republican side, which they want him appointed. So
I'd like to get back to Brett Kavanaugh because it seems like this is a big case. But again, that would be an anecdotal story. Again, how does that prove the statistic that rape is encouraged or committed at large in the United States and condoned?
you're telling me that like if the highest, the Supreme Court, if we're going to appoint somebody who participates in a devil's triangle
Yeah.
and refers to it as a devil's triangle, you're telling me that that's not the standard of what is good and what is right?
So, can I answer your question?
Yeah, you can answer
Sure.
my question.
So if I'm to answer the question on Brett Kavanaugh and Dr. Christine Ford or any of the other allegations coming forward from Michael Avenatti, who represents actually the other lady who accused him of gang rape as well, that's separate again from the evidence. It's about 1 in 1,900 women are raped in the United States according to the FBI. It's about 1 in 1,000 for college students. If you include all sexual assault according to the Department of Justice or Bureau of Justice, it's about 1 in 52 of all sex. That includes, playing grab ass. With Brett Kavanaugh, it's interesting that you mentioned a percentage. What evidence has been presented? Place.
It's a bunch of.
Place.
What do you mean by place?
Where did it
Like,
happen?
Where did it happen? I don't freaking know. I wasn't at his
Okay.
high school.
When?
It was back when he was in high school, like lower age.
General.
Yeah.
Okay.
General.
Who?
It's these. If you're familiar with Ms. Ford, she has come forward, and then I believe 1 or 2 other women have come forward and said this, but Ford is definitely the
No, she brought forward
forerunner.
witnesses, all of whom could not corroborate her story. Somewhat, they outright refuted it.
I mean, like this woman
again,
is
my
willing
standard-
to. She's actually willing to undergo intense FBI investigations. She has had no resistance to that, but he has actually denied over and over. He keeps saying he doesn't want it, and now they're giving him like a little special FBI investigation. I think this is something you should
None of
look
what you've
into
said just
personally.
none of what you've just said is correct. Does the word hubris mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't. Thank
The
you.
fact that did you really think that I didn't know who Brett Kavanaugh was?
I really didn't, honestly. At this point, like I'm unsure what you actually know.
Right. Yeah. The whole reason was I was hoping for you to sit down, and you see now if you go back, every single thing I told you I didn't know because I wanted you to explain to me. You've explained nothing. You've presented no evidence or data. The only time you've addressed evidence or data is saying that it's bullshit to use your words and it doesn't matter. The amount of rapes matter. The conviction rates matter. What we do with rapists matters. And when you come out and you say we live in a rape culture and you compare Dr. Christine Ford's allegations, let's say we have no idea whether they're true or not. Zero evidence whatsoever from 35 years ago. You can't run an investigation whether who, what, when, where, or why. We have none of it. To then use that as a springboard to say that we live in a rape culture, I think is intellectually disingenuous, and I think it does a great disservice to people who've actually been the victim of a horrible crime.
Yeah, I'm aware because I've been a victim to that crime, and as you say, like you haven't, and like you said, you didn't know what a uniform crime report is, and so maybe if you.
I also said I didn't know who Brett Kavanaugh was.
So I mean, maybe you do know what that is. So then, how can you sit here and tell me that?
How can you sit here?
That this is all like these statistics are all 100% correct.
No.
And who the hell let you back on this campus?
What is wrong with
It's a public sidewalk.
So nobody invited you here?
you? Can't just sit.
Officers, if nobody invited him here, can we ask him to leave this campus?
He needs to leave.
Is this being handled? You're a hero? Who the said that? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're so f***ing proud of it. Have you ever been raped?
No.
Then don't say shit. Then shut the f*** up.
Let me ask you you this: have you ever had your house under threat with a bomb threat? You ever had the FBI at your house have to actually circle your house and have armed guards? So the point is, we all have individual experiences, but that does not change the fact of the matter that we do not encourage a rape culture in the United States. Rape is a horrible crime. Let's use Brett Kavanaugh as an example because you brought him up. This is really important. First off, what happened to you? I don't know the story. I don't want you to get into personal details if you're uncomfortable. Horrible, terrible. If that happened, I can't say that it has because I'm not allowed to.
Oh yeah, of course. It probably hasn't.
Well,
so.
no, legally I can't accuse a man of something if he has not been convicted of a crime. I believe you though. I believe you. I'm really sorry.
You're such a good person.
I'm really
God.
sorry that happened to you. But a good example with Brett Kavanaugh. If Brett Kavanaugh did all of the things that he accused him of, for example, a triangle, gang rape. If he raped people, cocked his head back and left, I say that castrate him and give him life. But if it's not true, I feel probably worse for him than any man I can think of in recent memory. The only difference between the two is castrate the man versus empathy is the truth. And I think with all of these arguments,
but
with
so
all
you're
these
just saying
conversations,
this. You don't have the evidence either.
We're trying to seek the truth. I do have
Yeah,
some
but like we
evidence.
don't have the truth, so how can you just say that?
That's a good question.
I'm going to have to interrupt just a minute.
That's a good question.
That would be
That's a good
awesome.
question.
But like, why is he allowed on our campus if this isn't even like an organized
Are you
event?
part of this?
No, I am not part of this event.
Okay, so you're free to go anytime. You don't have to actually be
Yeah, I know, but if he's gonna sit here and say that rape culture is a myth, then somebody needs to sit here and say.
We're going to deal with that, but you're not helping the situation by adding to it. So adding him, no, it's
By
encouraging.
adding to it, I added to rape culture
I
by
believe that
getting
offer
raped.
up whatever you need us to do.
Sure, we
You're
keep
not
things-
mad.
I understand.
So if I called you and said somebody raped me, you wouldn't be mad?
But that's
Well,
not
you
what's
just
happening.
twisted my words, and I didn't say that.
Officer, what
Officer,
is
we
it?
want to
My
work
name's
with you.
Buckaloon. I did not. I did not say I didn't have that.
I've been raped on your campus,
Yeah,
sir.
and I'm sorry for that. Did we take care of you?
No, sir, he's still walking around on this campus.
Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get some order here, and if you're not willing to have to be a part of this, then you're free to leave,
Well, if
okay?
no one else is going to stand up for it, then I'm going to stand up for it.
Then you're okay staying here, because I just want to make sure he's not doing anything to you, harming you.
No, I'm
okay?
not, officer.
All right.
So we can continue the conversation if you like, or anyone else. Let's move forward.
I actually have class to get to, but
Okay.
you know what? I hope you enjoy this, and I hope that you never get raped because it's horrible.
I hope so.
And
as well.
rape
I hope-
culture
and I hope that
exists, and you're telling me 1 in 1,000? I can tell you that's bullshit.
1 in 1,900.
Do you see 1,900 people standing here? I can guarantee you, multiple people right here have been raped, and this is not 1,900 people. So,
How can you guarantee that?
and if anybody needs TCUPD because they've been raped, good luck, because they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. Film it if you want, post it if you want. I introduced myself to this man, and this man is saying 1 in 1,900? 1,900?
According to the FBI, yeah.
According to the FBI, 1 in 1,900 people have been raped. I can guarantee that I am not the only one standing here that's been raped. And we are not 1,900. So thank you. And thank you. And I hope you get the hell off our campus.
Fine. What's your name,
Welcome
sir?
back. I'm Nick.
Nick. Nice to meet you, Nick.
How you doing? I gotta say, I kind of like your podcast. I'm on the other side, but
Okay.
I like watching every once in a
you,
while.
Nick.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how familiar you are with this, but it seems like you disagree with the position. I
I'm
believe
in.
that rape culture, again, as it's defined in academia with gender studies and feminism, and as it's discussed in societal nomenclature, a society in which rape is either encouraged or tolerated. I believe that's not true. I don't believe we live in a country that
So
tolerates.
that's the definition, encouraged or tolerated?
Encouraged, tolerated, yes,
I
that's
definitely wouldn't say encouraged. To an extent, tolerated, yes. I would have to disagree there.
How so? How is rape tolerated in the United States?
We do a lot of victim blaming. We don't hold people accountable. We don't really trust the women. I mean, you look at the Kavanaugh hearing, all the Republicans, they kind of believe her, but they really don't care.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Define victim blaming.
Victim blaming would be not fully believing the woman accuser and striking her down and saying, oh, well, maybe you got too drunk at the party. Maybe you're lying about this. That's victim blaming.
That's not what's happened, though, with the Kavanaugh hearing. So let me ask you this. Victim, for you, I want to make this clear because this might be a fundamental disagreement.
Yeah.
For you, is victim a synonym with accuser, or do you mean victim being someone who's actually a victim of rape?
I mean, I would say closer to synonym, but
You just
sure.
you think victim is a synonym for accuser?
Well, I mean, if you're the victim and then you accuse your rapist or sexual assaulter of doing it, I guess, yeah.
How do you know they're a victim?
That's what they're saying. I usually believe the woman until proven the other way.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you believe that's how we should base our laws? Is believe
Not
someone who makes an accusation?
Not our laws, but we should believe her for the most part. She had a good testimony. If you looked at the testimony, who was the one that looked believable? Because sure as shit wasn't Kavanaugh.
Yeah, I disagree. And I think
Oh
even
man,
I think
she was cool, calm, and collect that whole time. Kavanaugh was screaming and ripping heads off.
He was crying.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, he was crying. And I think more important is the evidence. What was your name again?
Nick.
Nick. What year are you here?
Sophomore.
Are you the one who did the
I'm not.
naked?
No.
That was in the paper?
No.
That was you. That was you. I read about you.
Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah. Wait. Okay, where's your evidence that was me?
Why does it matter?
I'm saying evidence still matters. You have to have evidence.
You just said you tend to, in the absence of evidence with Christine.
I didn't say absence of evidence. There's a difference.
Obviously, I understand. I'm not.
No,
I
know.
You understand the point, though.
Yeah,
right?
no,
I'm
I
not
know what you're
actually
trying to make.
accusing
I know what you're trying to make. I didn't say absence of evidence.
So with Christine Ford, there's a complete absence of evidence. But you said you
There's
believe
not a
the
complete.
accuser.
There's not a complete
You
absence
said you
of
tend
evidence.
to believe the accuser until proven
We
otherwise.
know there was a party that night.
Hold on a
we
second,
know
hold on a second, hold on a second.
Kavanaugh was there. We know she was there. She had vivid recounts
What
of
night?
it.
Where?
Whatever night they're talking about in the
She doesn't remember the
DC
night.
metro area.
She doesn't remember the night. Where
Okay,
was
well,
the party?
it was in the DC metro area. I don't
She
have
doesn't know
the
where the
address.
party was. Who was there?
Brett Kavanaugh, Mark Judge.
Yeah. Has anyone else corroborated this?
Yes.
No, they refuted it.
No, there was
But
actually
again,
there was actually another woman who said yes. Brett Kavanaugh, Mark Judge, and Christine Blasey Ford were at the alleged party that they were referring to.
The first three witnesses she brought forward denied it. So let me get back to something. Hold on a second. You sat down. You did say, believe the woman until otherwise. She makes the accusation until. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Do you not see how incredibly dangerous that is? What if someone
Well,
brings an accusation?
these aren't criminal proceedings right now. I'm talking about the Kavanaugh.
So you believe in the court of public opinion, believe the woman who accuses no matter what, unless otherwise.
Not no matter what.
That's what you said.
I didn't say
you
no
said you
matter what.
believe the woman until proven otherwise. In other words, you need to disprove the claim of rape.
Yeah.
That's incredibly dangerous, and it's not founded in reality, especially considering at the incredibly low incidence
Well, we had
of rape that we have in this country.
look
So
at
again,
the Kavanaugh film.
No,
we had
hold on
two.
a second. There's a reason that it's innocent until proven guilty in this country. You understand? That's not
Yeah, I'm aware.
That's not been the rule
No,
of
I'm
law
aware.
in
I'm
other
aware.
countries. You know,
I know.
that's actually kind of a new idea.
No, I know.
Yeah. So for us to not apply it here just because of rape would be incredibly unfair. And again, this is what perpetuates the idea of rape culture. You say, well, I believe the victim. How do you know they're the victim? I believe the survivor. How do you know they're the survivor? We have a process to determine that.
I know we have
throw
a
it out,
process.
as you suggested, just to believe
I
the
think-
woman until proven otherwise.
All right, I think I might have misspoke. So.
Okay.
But I'm saying we shouldn't,
Well, then
right after these allegations came out. So I was kind of in the middle. I didn't know, there wasn't a lot of evidence for her or for him. It wasn't looking great for him though. And a lot
There's
of people,
no evidence.
There is some evidence. There's a lot of Republicans just jump to, oh no, this is nothing, she's lying, without knowing anything. So why are her claims automatically invalidated? Like it's the same on the flip side.
No,
Republicans the day after
opposite.
said this
Claims
is
need
trash.
to be validated.
I know, but
Outlandish claims need to be validated.
But no one
outlandish
really
evidence.
wanted to look into them, even when they came out.
What are you talking about? Are we just discussing Brett Kavanaugh?
Yeah.
Okay, that's incorrect. People have looked into it. People have looked into Brett Kavanaugh's background.
They didn't want
They
to,
tried
though.
to find witnesses. They couldn't. There's
No, they
evidence.
didn't try to find witnesses.
So, okay,
They
I don't want to just
they
say
moved
talk
the
about
hearing.
Kavanaugh. I want to talk about rape culture at large.
Okay.
But again, that's good. I do believe we have some other people who want to come forward. So I'm just going to disagree with you.
Okay.
If you believe the woman until
All right.
otherwise proven.
Let's talk about rape culture a little bit.
Well,
Then
no,
we went
let's
off
allow
a
some
little
other
bit.
people here to talk about rape culture. But I'm not going to agree with you on that point if that's your position.
All right. Just remember, one last. Let me get the last.
It's going to be an insult?
It's not gonna be an insult. It's not gonna be an insult. I don't like insulting people
You're
over
gonna try and hit
politics.
me?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm just gonna say, don't. Rape culture is a real thing. It's, it is a big problem. I know many people whose friends have been raped and sexually assaulted. It really triggers a lot of people. Like, don't just come out here and try to stir the pot, all right?
I don't think that this is stirring the pot.
No. We've been good, but I saw the last video last time you were here, and it got a little heated. I'm just saying.
There was a guy who got very heated.
Yeah.
But the overwhelming majority, if you've seen the series, are conversations like these.
No, I know.
And I think it's important to disagree.
No, I know it is.
And that's why I think it's important for there also to be the rule of law respected when it comes to rape, for the same reason, because I would want you to be afforded the same benefit.
I know.
Innocent until proven guilty. I'm not guilty of coming here to try and stir the pot. We've had these cameras running the whole time.
No, I know.
So my point is, you might have an impression that's not entirely accurate, and that often occurs in any situation, including rape.
I know, but sexual assault and rape culture is a real thing. It's a real problem. You look at all this stuff that's been coming out over the past few years with the Me Too movement.
Right.
It's a real thing. It's going down.
Thank you. I disagree.
Thank you
but
for
I appreciate
coming.
taking the time. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Now, there are plenty more conversations to get to here, but I just wanted to let you know that none of these episodes occur without you joining Mug Club, as they're often demonetized before you can say Wojcicki. So join up at louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub, not only to get access to the full 1-hour show daily that's not available on YouTube, but you also get access to all of CRTV's lineup, including Gavin McGinnis, Mark Levin, not to mention this wonderful hand-etched, hand-painted mug. You can try it for free for 7 days today, and it's the only way that we're able to keep this kind of content alive. Now, if you can't afford Mug Club, please bookmark this channel and check back for videos every day, as sometimes the subscription feed doesn't work. So, of course, hit the notification bell here. Follow me on Instagram at louderwithcrowder, louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub. Thanks so much for the support. We need you. On with the show.
Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm Marley.
Marley, nice to meet you. Steven.
Cool. So I just wanted to know if you could...
Yeah, really quick, if I can, So I'm not sure how familiar you are with the segment, but it's asserting a position on a topic that's obviously discussed quite a bit. I believe the idea that rape culture, I want to make sure I define it. So
that's all I want to know is what your definition of rape culture is.
As defined sort of by academia.
Perfect.
And modern feminism, gender studies, the idea that we live in a culture that encourages, perpetuates, or tolerates rape systemically. If that's incorrect. If you disagree with me, you're more than welcome to change my mind.
No, I definitely think that I don't think rape is encouraged in this country. I don't think that rape is encouraged in this country. I don't think it's encouraged. I think sometimes it can be tolerated, sometimes it can be pushed under the rug. But as far as encouraging it, we're not over here saying, "Hey, let's go out and rape all these people." That's not ever what we stand for.
That's how rape culture is.
Right. As far as tolerating, I think tolerating is Sorry, I didn't mean to hit your mouth.
No, that's okay.
It's an interesting word to use because I think tolerating means you're being okay with it.
Right.
And so I don't think that we as a country are okay with rape. I think that that's something it's horrible. Like you said, I heard earlier you said you want to castrate all the rapists.
Yes. I think as a country we obviously think rape is a horrible crime and we prosecute rapists.
No, we do. So I just wanted to clarify to hear what your stand is because it's hard to hear and I think there's a ton of people yelling at you and I just want to hear what you had to say and what your thought on it.
I disagree with that premise that we live in a rape culture.
I disagree too. I agree.
Okay.
I disagree that that's the country that we live in. I don't think that is. I just wanted to hear what you have to say.
Was it
Marley?
Marley. Sorry, I didn't hear your name.
No, you're good. Like Bob Marley.
Okay. Well, I appreciate.
No, yeah, that was just 2 minutes.
Okay.
I just want to hear what you had to say.
Thank you very much, Marley.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I know it's hard when
it's
people
really hard.
yell and shout down.
I think that you at least deserve a voice, and you at least deserve to come here and just say what you want to say and freedom of speech. And
I think we all agree rape is a
country.
horrible crime.
Oh, it's horrible. I mean, I have friends, and me personally, have dealt with sexual assault, and I think it's horrible. But as far as encouraging it, we're not teaching young men and women, go out and rape people. So I thank you for coming to our country, our campus. Thank you so much.
Okay. What was your name, sir?
Grant.
Grant, nice to meet you, Grant.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, I don't know your name.
Steven, nice to meet you, Grant. So I assume then you're not familiar at all with the segment. Basically, this is where we have hopefully rational discussions. We rationalize our own positions on what are considered controversial issues. Rape culture, I want to make sure that I'm really clear about defining rape culture. I would use the definition that would be taught here probably on your college campus in gender studies or with modern feminist theory or as it's been used in sort of societal nomenclature. The idea that we live in a culture that perpetuates, encourages, or even tolerates rape. Rape culture. Not a thing. Disagree. If you do, you're more than welcome to change my mind.
So the claim The claim isn't my largest concern. It's that you're here saying I'm here to start a productive discourse, right? That's your goal. Like,
Yeah.
what's your mission statement? Tell me that.
Well, if you disagree, I would like for you to rationalize your position. I see on campus a lot of people. We've had a lot of people come up and scream. We've had some very productive discussions. You can rationalize your position, and I can rationalize mine. I think especially when we have a media, obviously, that leans a certain political direction, that it's been accepted among societal nomenclature. It's important to present a different point of view. Rape culture is not a thing.
That's fair. So my beef with it is the aggressive ignorance. I'm not saying you're aggressive. Obviously you're not. Obviously
Thank
you're
you.
listening to people. However, right now I'm standing right back there. I'm 10 feet back there, and I'm talking to everyone around. No one can hear you.
Yeah.
You're not starting the dialogue you're trying to start.
Actually, I am.
Okay.
So it's a dialogue between me and you. You know, we're having a dialogue.
Okay.
And then millions of people will see the dialogue.
Okay.
And then they can judge for themselves who's rationalized their position. This is not meant to be an argument. It's gotten hostile sometimes because people come in and scream or get really upset. But not everyone here can necessarily hear it.
So there's a lot of people that are in a way entering a one-sided dialogue, and here's how. You have a sign that says rape culture isn't real.
Right.
Not everyone's going to get up here to talk to you. Not everyone's going to feel comfortable doing that, especially if they have been sexually assaulted. That's not something a lot of people like to talk about. But also, so we see the sign, and then you're stuck thinking about it all day, that some people believe that some horrible thing that may have happened to you, and the culture that protects perpetrators doesn't exist. So, for example,
hold on a second. Two different things. Rape, horrible, heinous crime. Don't support it at all.
I understand.
So if someone goes through the day thinking that would be incorrect. But the idea that a society supports the perpetrators, yes, that's okay. I'm okay with someone thinking that.
Yes, I accept that.
I want to separate the two because you kind of blended them there.
Okay, my apologies.
No,
yes.
it's okay. Appreciate it.
Supporting the act, or even not stigmatizing those that commit the act enough, or punishing them enough or frequently. But what I'm saying is I see people walking around, I see girls in tears, and that's because of your sign. And because they're seeing that belief presented and not having the chance or the comfort. There's, look, there's 2 microphones here. There's a camera in my face. You have your little book of facts. I don't have anything prepared.
That's true.
I just went to
I'm not referencing this right now. I have it for you if you would like to.
No, but I've seen you. No, I'm not interested in the discourse about rape culture. I'm more interested in just, I'm upset with the mode that the discourse is taking place, and I wanted to voice that concern.
Okay. First off, how would you have the discourse take place?
Not in a crowd of a bunch of people that can't hear me.
Yeah. Well, this is going to take place again. People will watch it.
I have a. Yeah.
The whole point is that the reason for this is and the reason this is important is have someone who's worked in cable news for years. I appeared on Fox, CNN, BBC, and couldn't stand the soundbite sort of system of news. This is the opposite of that. Completely unedited, allowing people to rationalize their positions long form. And of course, it's very hard for a conservative to get a permit on campus to conduct these debates. It's often very hard to find people who will do so, and usually end up with either an activist or professor. The goal to this discourse is to have conversations with real people about these topics.
Well, don't you think it's kind of setting yourself up if you're interviewing students?
We haven't just done students.
That's all I've seen today.
Today we're doing it at this campus, yeah. We do a pretty eclectic mix. Last time we did it in front of the White House.
Do you ever debate someone where
Sure.
you?
It's very hard to often find leftist opponents who are willing to engage in a debate. It's increasingly difficult.
Why do you think that is?
I couldn't tell you.
I think a lot of the reason is because these concepts of
Why do you think it is?
Well, I think that the concepts I'm arguing for, so rape culture and things like you had your male or white privilege sign last time, those are really, really complicated concepts. And it's not so simple as saying, oh, that person's white, I'm going to pay them more. There's structural things going on. And lots of us are just bystanders that it's being perpetuated through our day-to-day operations. So there's not the oppressors and the oppressed.
What's being perpetuated?
Oppression.
Okay.
So there's I read an article, it was in a philosophy class, it was 5 forms of oppression. So say a group is marginalized, like the elderly often have a hard time finding work.
Sure.
Right? And maybe there's medical reasons for that, but then that ties into ableism, and that's a different, I know this is tangential, but my whole point is you're gonna have trouble finding people to debate you because these concepts are very hard to articulate. And if you're going in with the mindset of just change my mind, it's really hard to want to engage in that discourse.
Okay, how about this? How about let me use your standard. Articulate it.
My standard?
Yeah, don't even change my mind, articulate it. Isn't it wonderful to say all of these positions that you hold are so nuanced you couldn't possibly be burdened with articulating it, but I am.
So you think you're the minority?
Do I think I'm the minority?
You
On a
think the
college, that's why we're on a
minority
college
is-
campus, yeah. Not here. You see many people who've been othered who have more right-leaning viewpoints who would disagree with yourself, who have to be quiet about their points of view. But you said that all these issues like white privilege, for example, like rape culture, they're so nuanced. Your position was that it's hard to find leftists or progressives or liberals, whatever term you want to use, who would be willing to debate because they're so nuanced that they wouldn't be able to articulate their position. Isn't that convenient?
Is it convenient? No. That's why we can't change your mind.
Because you can't articulate your position?
No, because you have to read the hundreds of books and articles that the professors who are able to articulate it read. I can't articulate it. I'm a junior. I'm an acting major. I'm not well versed in any of this.
Sure.
And I'm here talking to you just because I felt that your approach changed my mind. Perhaps maybe I don't think you want to change your mind.
Well, the idea. Are you familiar with the Socratic method?
It's like a Socratic seminar, like in high school.
Yeah, that's what they would often do. Yeah, so they're Socratic
Okay.
seminars. You know what? You're familiar with what it is?
Yes.
Okay, so it's basically rationalizing one's position.
Yes.
That's what this is about. They often don't teach the Socratic method in college now. And right now, especially with the Kavanaugh hearings going on, rape culture. Let me ask you this: how would you define rape culture? Maybe that's where we're disagreeing here.
I'm gonna use a little thought exercise.
Go ahead.
To articulate, or I guess visualization is more accurate. I jog, as you can probably tell. I jog.
How could I tell? I mean, you look fit. I don't know. Jog. You look like you're fit.
Thanks, man.
Okay, good.
I jog, and I jog at night. I jog anywhere I want.
Mm-hmm.
I can go anywhere I want, and I feel safe.
Yeah.
Women can.
Sure.
So whether or not someone was saying you had some statistics about that.
Yeah.
Whether or not the statistics are true, the widespread belief in the fear is real. It's cultural. It's a part of our
You're saying
collective
that
beliefs.
because women. No, whoa. I was going to agree with you there until you. Where do you think I just disagreed with you?
What do you mean?
You just spoke, and I was actually about to agree with you about obviously you feel more safe than women who jog. But I was going to agree with you, but then you segued, and this is a thought because it was your thought exercise. Where do you think I hopped off the train?
That's an example of rape culture.
You then use that to say it's an example of a set of our cultural beliefs. What cultural belief makes a woman uncomfortable at night?
Okay, perhaps the.
Everyone should be uncomfortable jogging at night. You should. It's very unsafe. I hope you wear reflectors.
I do.
I hope you have a buddy system. I hope you have your Find My Phone app on. Hopefully, I don't know if you're allowed to carry on this campus or if you're off campus.
I never feel that fear. It's it can just the way I'm socialized, and we can talk about socialization at length. I do have an appointment with my advisor.
Sure.
But I've been socialized to not fear those situations, and so I don't. And women, whether or not, are you familiar with the concept of an A-leaf?
I would love for you to explain it.
It's a philosophical concept. So basically, you can believe something. So I know if I'm on the skywalk of the Grand Canyon, I believe I'm safe. I know it's not going to fall. But I have a little A-leaf. It's like a sub-little thing that I can't control that makes me shake.
Right.
So it could be, you could relate it to the concept of A-leafs. So women believe that they are equally safe or unsafe than men, but the A-leaf is still there, that they're not, or that they could be a target because of their sex.
Yeah. And they could be.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that.
Okay.
So the idea that doesn't mean that we tolerate or encourage rape culture. The idea that as a society,
I think our
this is
definition
really
of rape culture is different because
my definition is not. If your definition is a woman feels less comfortable alone at night because she's weaker than a man, then I would agree with you. But that's not an example of rape culture.
That's why I was hesitant to use an example because you can find specifics in it and try to tear it apart.
No, it's not. The point is, you presented the anecdotal. I'm talking about the empirical, the analytical, and that's important. That matters.
See, okay.
How would you change it, for example? So you're talking about women who feel afraid, right? I believe
How would I change an entire culture?
Yes, because you believe we have a rape culture. How would you change it? What do we do wrong? How do we encourage rape?
How do we encourage rape?
How do we tolerate rape?
We don't encourage rape, and I think we tolerate it by not punishing it, or often by.
But we do punish it.
You see.
We do punish it. We prosecute. We charge rapists. We put them in prison.
But not always.
Not always.
And I'm saying the.
But at the same rate as many other crimes, armed robberies, arson, assault, they're convicted at the same rates. We don't tolerate rape. We prosecute and put them in prison. The worst maximum security prisons.
All right. So I'm curious if sexual assault is included in your umbrella of rape.
No, not for rape. We can discuss the two issues separately.
That would be the discrepancy.
But let's talk about sexual assault culture. Okay. Well, because you came down and you said aggressive ignorance, so I assumed you had some specific details with which you would disagree with me.
I didn't come prepared. I woke up, went to stats, did some homework, and then...
If you're not prepared, a sign is generally not a good idea.
It's not my sign.
Oh, really? Whose sign is it?
Register to vote.
Okay.
There were people running a voter registration table.
So who wrote this?
I did.
So it's your sign?
Sure, but you're using it as an emblem that I'm prepared when I'm not.
No, I'm using it as an emblem for shocking unpreparedness.
Yeah, because I didn't prepare for this.
So if you're not prepared, I wouldn't put up a sign. You said you want to sit down, that I am aggressively ignorant. You had a sign, and then you say, but I'm not prepared for this. That's not how this works.
It's also not how it works that you can send this one-way message and just say rape culture isn't real.
That is exactly how it works.
Our campus, no, that's the same.
Because you can sit down and discuss it. No, it's not. I'm not insulting anybody. And I am prepared.
Listen, if you were really trying to start a productive dialogue and not get views for your YouTube page, you wouldn't do it this way. That's all I wanted to say.
How would I do it?
Not this way. You would debate people that are qualified, or maybe prepare a lecture. Like, if you think that you say you come to college campuses because you think most of us are liberal, then become a professor, man.
So you believe only professors should be allowed to share empirical data?
That's not what I said.
Well, this isn't a one-way dialogue. You've been allowed to express your opinion entirely. I haven't yelled at you. You've created a sign insulting me.
Yelled at you.
You just don't have any substantiation.
You created a sign that made my friends cry, so I made this sign.
That's emotional.
You
Factual
seem
matters.
offended by this.
No, it offends me as somebody who prepares.
I'm not seeing this going anywhere productive.
What evidence do you have that we live in a rape culture?
That's, like I said, my purpose for coming up here didn't have to do with that, because I'm not going to be able to argue it.
That's okay. I'm not doing the gotcha with that. We both have dry mouth, and that's not what I'm doing here.
I'm not going to be able to articulate it. I don't have any facts. I don't have figures. I don't have anything. And I know you haven't presented any either.
That's not true.
Not to me.
Because you've said that it's too nuanced to get into that. You don't seem to want to get into the realm of facts. Would you like to?
No, I don't. Like I said,
would you like to get into the realm of facts and empirical data?
I don't care about that.
Okay, well then don't accuse me of not bringing up facts. You've said you're not interested in it.
I apologize if I
You've said, let me just say one thing, okay, really quickly, because I know you have to go. So let me wrap this up for you. You presented this with an insulting sign. You were completely ill-prepared. You said that all of your views are so nuanced that you couldn't possibly be expected to articulate them.
That's not what I said, though.
Or liberals are nuanced that you couldn't possibly expected to articulate them. And then you said I didn't bring any facts, and when I said, are you interested in hearing them, you said no.
Listen.
I don't think this is going to be very productive. I just had a very productive discussion with several other people. You are not amongst them.
I've backpedaled on all those statements. What I'm saying is, people aren't going to want to debate because your mentality is change my mind. I want you to come to me, bring me something to change my mind.
Yes.
That's not the mentality that is going to be helpful to productive dialogue. If I made a sign that said rape culture is real, change my mind, I don't know, I wouldn't, because I don't care for that kind of dialogue, I guess. So my point was...
Many people here do.
Okay, listen, my point, I really didn't want to talk about rape culture because I'm not prepared. I don't know what to say about it. I don't know how to articulate that I think it's an issue. I don't even know how to tell you how I came to think it's an issue. I guess it's just something I learned along the way. But I'm trying to tell you that I don't think what you're doing is a productive way to even, you said you wanted to, you didn't say reify. What was your word?
Rationalize our position.
You want to rationalize your position. I just don't think this is a good way to do that. That's my main point. It doesn't matter if I'm prepared or not.
Okay.
It's about the mode of discourse.
Sure. Can I ask you one more thing?
Yes.
Would you be willing to give someone here your info, find a professor, any professor here on campus, and help organize some kind of a debate or conversation?
No.
No, I mean just literally give your email and we can follow up.
My email to who?
To someone, one of these people working here, working the camera. He can grab your email, write it down. Any professor, you pick.
Any professor.
Yeah. And or set up the dialogue how you think it would be best or most fair. Listen, we'll get your info. You don't have to do anything. Just an email. And anything that you think...
How much time do you think that'll take on my part? Because I'm not...
Literally just give him your email. He'll write it down.
I wasn't even going to come up here. Your friend came over and was like, do you want to talk to him? And I was like, yes.
Oh, because he had the sign, so... Yeah, just give him your email.
Okay. I know. I was supposed to take it back at 12:30.
Okay. Well, go ahead. Yeah, just give him your email. And any way you think this conversation could be conducted more productively, we'll send you an email, and you can send us back your thoughts, what you'd like to do, and we'll make it happen. How about that? Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I appreciate you sitting down. Hey there, YouTube viewer. If you like this video, click one of these other videos. Or I would usually say subscribe or hit the notification bell, but YouTube doesn't even notify you anymore. So your only option now is to sign up for The Daily Show, the full-hour daily show at louderwithcrowder.com/Mug Club. Join Mug Club and help us continue the content. We're able to do it
We're able to do it relatively inexpensively with the help of Bangladeshi children. The problem we have with it, they're good at web development, but not so much with writing the jokes. Not an intelligence factor, but it's too much inside baseball. Cultural differences. So we can up the game if you join.